name is Tisha Crear. I was born and raised right here in Dallas, Texas. And I currently do a couple of things. One is I work for the City of Dallas, the Office of Cultural Affairs, and I've been doing that for a while. But I run a company. We just started a small company called the Susu Cultural Business Incubator. So the Susu Cultural Business Incubator is about launching social enterprise in low to mid-income neighborhoods. And we've been working in 75216 and 75203 in an area of Oak Cliff, which is going through a lot of gentrification, like many of our neighborhoods with the new urbanization that is coming in. And so the Susu is about supporting the local creative and cultural entrepreneurs as a way to combat that displacement, to say that there are local entrepreneurs and businesses that are here. They're a great and valuable resource, and that's where the investment should go, is into those entrepreneurs. Sometimes I think it has a lot to do with resources, like everything. And for us to understand that, kind of educating that we are our greatest resource. We are our greatest resource. Human resource is the greatest resource. And so it's just creating initiatives or that highlight that sense of collaboration, that cooperative spirit that has been around forever. It's been around since the beginning of time, and a lot of times we've just forgotten it. And so it's just reigniting that cultural norm that we've forgotten. I used to run a company called Reciprocity, and we did open mic poetry sessions. We had a little cafe. We had a consignment store in the front and a food co-op. It was so many businesses came through there. So many young entrepreneurs came through and started their business there. But we didn't really have much business sense. So it was just kind of, we were selling CDs out the trunk and did, those things. But now, through time and through some classes and training and experience, learning how to actually grow those into real business and stimulate the economy, and realize that we have a real big contribution when it comes to our economic value, and our cultural and our creativity base is that strength. The types of businesses that are in Susu are creative and cultural business. So those are actual industries, creative and cultural industries. So we have cultural retail, so a lot of handcrafted items of jewelry and apparel. We also highlight the culinary arts, because we love food and culture. Hey, we love to eat. So we highlight a lot of culinary artists and, ethnic food, like a lot of the populations that come in from Africa and other places. We highlight a lot of those chefs and health and vegetarian food, because that part is very important. Wellness, a lot of wellness services, and the creative and cultural push. I think that there are a lot of things that the city can do to help to support local entrepreneurs and to build out that great resource inside of these communities. On the policy level, it has a lot to do with valuing the people, their culture, and that contribution. And with that value comes a sharing or a giving of resources that oftentimes are not given in that direction. So on the policy level, I think a lot of education has to happen. But if those resources were freed up to support these valuable local entrepreneurs, that would help to build these neighborhoods. So a lot of neighborhoods are neglected, and it's not necessarily from the inside that it's neglected. It comes from having city resources that are chosen to whether they're going to go to this place or for this thing. And so on the policy level, I think that is the key, is investing in your people and valuing their culture and their experience and letting that shape the growth and the development of a neighborhood and of an area, and allowing each a neighborhood and area to have its distinct voice and honor and respect that. And the economic contribution is there as far as what the people can create and generate. So, and then on the internal level, with the people, I think that just one-on-one, we have to do more cooperative work. The name Susu is an African word, which means small, small. And it's a concept that is practiced all over the world. Everyone does a Susu or a Tanda or is in every country. And it's the idea of we put our resources together collectively, and we use that collective resource for our greater good, because together we're stronger. And so I think that if we realize that and really work that principle, then we can see a lot of great change. I've been inspired by so many people. Of course, my mother and father are really big inspirations for me because they're solid as a rock, and they have a lot of love, and they taught me unconditional love, and they taught me a really strong work ethic and a really good spiritual grounding. So I'm really inspired by them, William and Ethel Crear. And on a local level, I'm inspired by women like Juanita Craft, her organization skills and working with youth and bringing youth together to have protests, to make change, and just having this warrior woman spirit. Like, I'm very inspired by her. And I'm also inspired by people like Wangara Maathai from the Greenbelt movement, and just starting off with it just so grassroots and empowering women and empowering neighbors, communities to plant a seedling and change everything and build their own economic strength and increase and improve the environment and fight. So I'm inspired by people like that. And one other person that I'm inspired by lately is Theaster Gates. His work as an artist and placemaker, and how he takes grant money, big grant money, and flips it to a community effort. I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by that warrior spirit and all of the beautiful people out there that embody that, and that are out there struggling and fighting and pushing forward at by any means necessary. Yes, I think the women entrepreneurs that have been in the Susu circle, and the increased amount of them, the large amount of them, has been incredible. We've been doing pop-up markets, and I looked around one day and we realized we're all women in here, and when we realized that, we felt really powerful. I think that women are attracted to entrepreneurship because, women have always been great organizers and leaders. I grew up in the church, and it's the men were the preachers and things, but the women were running things. So I think that it's just something that we do. And, I think, a lot of times there's a lot of inequalities that happen in some of these other environments, maybe in corporate environments or other type of work environments that women have opportunities to be a part of. But entrepreneurship those things that you develop from your hands empower you. And so I think that's why so many women are attracted to entrepreneurship, is the power that they are able to hold in their hands. I guess one of the biggest things I've been learning and learning again is that is this the idea of perseverance, and that of all the people that have done all the things in this life and in this world and over time, that there will always be criticism. There will always be the obstacles. There will always be some. One of my teachers used to say, and I used to hate it when she said this. She used to say, "The heart must be broken." What? But it's a part of it. And so I've begun to welcome those things, the things that we may see as adversities. I welcome them because that's perhaps God's way of giving me this great lesson. And so I'm thankful for them. I try not to define myself by the traumatic things that have happened in my life. But one thing that did happen, like in 1992, I got hit by a car. I was sitting in Washington Square Park. I was at NYU, I was skipping class, okay? So, and I was sitting in the park with my boyfriend. It was Earth Day. And this lady lost control of her car. She came through and blah, blah, blah. And in that moment, 5 people were dead, 26 others were injured, and I was on that list. And from that moment, when I came to under the tree, and the crowd of people came running over, and I went through all these thoughts. Oh my God. Then I thought things I never even thought I would think. I actually thought for a second that maybe they wouldn't come and get me. Like, they're going to leave me here. Oh. Anyway, so through all of that, I had to learn how to walk again. And I was, at the time, I was in theater, but movement was a really big part of my existence and how I defined myself. And then I couldn't walk. So I had to, reach in to know that that didn't define me. I learned a lot from that experience of just, rising up from being knocked completely flat and learning how to literally walk again and pushing myself beyond what the doctors or anyone else could tell me, were my limitations, because I'm not supposed to be walking and moving like I am now, And when they wanted to cut my leg off, I was like, can you just leave it and let me and God kind of work it out? And he did. And so I'm thankful for that. But throughout life, the biggest lesson is that there will always be some kind of adversity. There will always be voices of people who like you and don't like you, love you, all those things. And so the lesson is to be okay with that and keep moving through your journey, no matter what. When I think of the power of women, the statement, the power of women, when I think of that statement, I think there's nothing stronger. We carry the womb. And so the power of women, that's one woman, another woman, creating a circle. It's the power of creation and the power of life. And it's that nurturing spirit. And I know sometimes we shy away from some of those ideas, but they're beautiful. So that's what I think of when I think of the power of women, is I think of that circle of power, of creativity, of life. and of nurturing and of infinite possibility. Susu Cultural Business Incubator is in the beginning phases, but we're in our kind of like our second season. So what's next for us right now is expanding on the things that we've been working on as far as doing bigger markets, incorporating more entrepreneurs, willfully gaining a space or several spaces to work out of and launch those businesses. We're really focusing this year on young entrepreneurs and developing that. And we're doing a lot of work with families and groups, creating actual Susu circles and rotating money. So what's next for us right now is building our financial foundation, our collective financial foundation, and practicing cooperative economics. And willfully that will move us into our next phase of property ownership, and hopefully we'll be able to capture some of our neighborhood before it's completely lost. So every time we have a market, it's not just a market, it's almost like a protest. So that's what's next for Susu right now, is really pushing to save our neighborhood and be a part of the voice of this new urbanization that's happening in our neighborhoods.